everyone. Welcome to our second episode of
Married to Eats. We made it for you.
And today we're going to be making lemon chicken and spaghetti squash.
As we do every video, we're going to put a link below for Goodful, who is also BuzzFeed, and from there you can actually follow the ingredients and make the ingredients yourself. But I'm gonna go through what we have. We got spaghetti squash, olive oil, salt, pepper, chicken breast, yellow onions, garlic, cherry tomatoes, lemon juice, chicken broth, and baby spinach.
So from last video, we asked for recommendations and how to improve our videos, and we're always open to recommendations. So one of our viewers posted that maybe we should actually list the ingredients below along with the pricing. So you can also find that below from now on. But the approximate cost of everything was around $25.
Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and start cooking. So let's do it. So here go all our ingredients. We got everything already prepped and ready to go other than the spaghetti squash, which we're about to do and get it cut up and ready to cook. So first step is to preheat the oven for 375 Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius, depending on where you're at in the world. So step number 2, poke several holes into the spaghetti squash and then microwave on high for 5 minutes. Poke them holes. Poke them holes.
You sound like you saying something now.
Are you poking it deep enough? And as we said earlier, you got to put it in the microwave for 5 minutes on high. Spaghetti squash is talking right now like I'm ready. You hear it? Talk to him, spaghetti. Talk to him. You ready? You ready? Please use safety and make sure you take out that spaghetti squash with some oven mittens because it is hot.
This technique for cutting spaghetti squash is actually new to me because when I first started buying spaghetti squash, maybe like 2-3 years ago, I had no idea to microwave it first, and I was trying to cut it straight from the grocery store, and I used to get the knife stuck in the spaghetti squash. One time, I left the knife in the spaghetti squash, and I was like, we not having that tonight because that's how frustrated I was. But even just slightly sticking this knife in here is going to cut a lot easier. So this is even a hack for me.
So step number 3 is to cut the spaghetti squash in half along the holes. Remove seeds with a spoon and drizzle squash with olive oil, seasons, and salt and pepper.
I need to put that glove on still.
And make sure you, safety tip, make sure you put the glove on when you're trying to cut it because it's still hot. Thought it was easier.
It is easier than what I was doing.
Oh yeah, that's going through there, no problem.
I was like sweating before.
As always, Aston, he got a new haircut, y'all, this time. Look, he waiting. Just waiting. You waiting for some food to drop. You know, as usual, we got the cook. She got the Cook Masters on. Cook Masters 2000. You know, I got the Cook Masters 2005 right here. So, you know, every great chef, make sure you invest in your pair of Cook Masters. So, as we said earlier, you gotta make sure you scoop out those seeds and take those insides out.
So, at first we were using a spoon, but it was pretty hard to scoop out the seeds with the spoon. A fork works better, but actually if you just use your hands, make sure they're clean to scoop it out. It's probably the best way to get the seeds out.
Next portion of step 4 is to drizzle that squash with some olive oil, and then afterwards you go ahead and season it to your taste with the salt and pepper on how much you want, how much salt you want, how much pepper, whatever. Number 4, make sure you place the squash upside down onto the bake tray and bake for 40 minutes until soft and then let cool. So we're going to throw that into the oven. So step number 5, using a skillet, cook the chicken to medium high heat and add a little bit of olive oil and let it cook for probably about 6 to 8 minutes until the chicken is golden brown and cook through, and then remove the chicken from the pan and set aside. So we basically cook this to it's nice, cooked thoroughly through. You got little golden brown markings on the chicken, and from there you can start removing the chicken and putting it off to the side. If you got a plate ready right over there. Step number 6, saute the onions for a few minutes, and after a while we're going to add some garlic after a few minutes of cooking the onions, and then we'll add some tomatoes after a few minutes of adding the garlic, and then you're going to cook until the onions are translucent. As I told y'all before, if y'all going to be doing a lot of cooking, a lot of these recipes call for garlic, and this is probably the best thing you can get, a garlic press. Just put the garlic in there, squeeze, and it basically dice it up for you. Next step is to add the tomatoes, and once you add that, you're basically going to cook the onions till they're translucent. We have added the lemon juice and the chicken broth to the cooking process, and as of right now we got to let it cook for about 20 minutes until it's partially reduced, and then from there we will be adding the chicken. So the squash just got done, y'all. So the recipe called that, you put the actual like broth and everything out there for about 20 minutes. But as you can see, it reduced that stuff down a lot. So I'd probably say about 10 minutes on the reduction side. Right now we're just adding the salt and adding the pepper. The recipe don't tell you to do it anywhere. So we're just going to add it at this point, and going to add the baby spinach along with that, and also add the chicken. We really are supposed to add the chicken first, but so earlier we took an incorrect measurement of the ounces with the spinach.
You can't mix this.
It's actually supposed to be 8 ounces, and 8 ounces is a lot with spinach. Make sure you get a bag that says the amount of the ounces, because when we measured it earlier, we used our scale, and we actually looked at it. It was 0.8 ounces rather than 8 ounces. So this should reduce down as it cooks, but it is a lot, so just be prepared. So the spinach actually cooked down very nice and mixed in with the rest of the stuff that was in the recipe. The next step, the plating process, begin. What you're going to do is use a fork and shred the inside of the squash to basically give it its spaghetti form. And then from there, we're going to actually scoop that out and start the plating process. Okay, I just wanted to show y'all how much squash this spaghetti squash puts out. And this is a pretty small one compared to a lot of the spaghetti squashes out there. So this is basically one pretty decent sized plate, full of spaghetti squash. Step number 9, pour the sauce on the squash and serve immediately. And then after that, we're going to go to step number 10, which is enjoy. But we'll be the final judge of that. Just want to give y'all a quick visual of the finished product before we start eating it. It looks like it's going to be all right. I'm not really a big fan of spinach. I like raw spinach, but cooked spinach, I'm not really that big of a fan, but we'll see. All right, y'all, so we got to the part where we actually eat now and give y'all our thoughts behind this food. Just the process overall, I think it was an easier process from our last video. It was, I say, less of a cleanup, not that much mess that was going on, and I think it's pretty overall easy process of getting everything cooked and ready to go.
And it's a very quick meal to get on the table, especially on a busy weeknight.
Yep. So without further ado, let's do it. Let's dig in. Make sure I get everything in one bite. Spaghetti squash, chicken, tomatoes. Okay. Okay. All right. So I really was not expecting the lemon taste, because when we was doing the cooking process, we really want that much lemon juice that we put in there. And I mean, the recipe does say lemon chicken and spaghetti squash, but I actually really do taste the lemon in there. It's a pretty, I say it's a pretty good dish. I mean, the spinach, everything goes together real good. The spaghetti squash is perfect for this. What are you thinking about?
Excuse me, I'm having a sneeze attack. I really, really, really like this dish. A lot of the flavors in this dish are a lot of natural flavoring. Again, we didn't even have to add that much seasoning. We only added salt and pepper, and it has a really good flavor. I say I give this a 10. Okay. I give it a 9.5, but not because of the taste. This is an overall. A 9.5 only because the directions were a little off. And if you're a beginner cooker, it might have thrown you off and it might not have came out as well. But we questioned ourselves and was like, okay, something doesn't sound right. Maybe we need to add more spinach, or maybe we need to add the salt and pepper. That's the only reason why I give it a 9.5. But as far as taste, I do give it a 10 out of 10. For easiness, a 10 out of 10. For even the cost of all the products, I would give it a 10 also too, because again, we showed you the plate of the spaghetti squash, and there's a lot, and you can feed your whole family off of this and possibly also have leftovers.
Okay, for my rating, I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8 because it's healthy, but it's good though. It's good. It's real good. It's actually real good. This is something that I wouldn't mind having like once a week or pretty often, and this might be a dish that we adapt here at the house, more often. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. And if you want to do a 5-point scale, of course, I'm gonna give it a 4. But this is a great dish. Everything goes together real good. And like I said, it's not that much seasoning and everything in there. It's just the different flavors with the vegetable, the squash, the spinach, chicken, tomatoes. It all goes together. So.
But it's time to go because this is our actual dinner for tonight, and it's getting late, and I'm very hungry. So thank you again for liking and subscribing and watching Married to Eats. Again, don't forget to follow us on all social media. We have a Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Snapchat, we have Twitter. Any comments or recommendations, please put them below, and we will see you next time.